Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Grizz from Red Force TCG, your home for everything competitive One Piece. Today, we have a video with my friend and my teammate Chandler Allen, who recently got top 16 at the Peoria Regional with Nami. So today, we're just going to have a chat and kind of look at the updated deck list, talk about the meta, Nami's positioning, and kind of just how his day went. So stay tuned for that. But first, we want to just shout out our sponsors, Dueling Guard. Guys, if you need deck boxes, playmats, whatever it is you need to take your game to the next level, Dueling Guard's got you covered. We're just so thankful to be sponsored by the people making the highest quality TCG accessories on the market. So if you guys need something, go check out Dueling Guard and use code REDFORCE for a discount checkout. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Hey, what's up, everybody? So Chandler, today we are here to talk about your top 16 regional Nami finish. How you doing today?
I'm feeling great. That I wasn't expecting to go top 16, but I did, and here we are to talk about it from Peoria last weekend.
Yeah, top 16 at Peoria. So obviously you brought Nami. It's your favorite deck. I won't ask you why you brought it, So, what made you kind of decide that Nami was going to be the play for that weekend? Like, what is it about this meta that is advantageous to playing Nami?
Well, let's be honest. Between you and me, and our viewers, I was just tilted off of Reiju. I had some bad hands, some bad games in a regional, and that is ultimately the number one reason that led me to bring Nami into the following regional. But it's actually has decent matchups with all the same stuff it did in OPO5, which is still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yellow decks, Sokka, whatever. Moria is like, they have the Perona, but it's honestly not that bad. Like, it could be worse. So yeah, the matchups are actually okay. They're all at least 50-50 in my opinion. So if you're just skill diff your opponent, you can win them out.
Okay, cool. All right, well, we'll talk about your deck list a little bit. Do you kind of want to tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, so the big thing here is that in OPO6, compared to my last video, we get one new card. It's Whitesnake. I can tell you for a fact that Whitesnake was the MVP of the entire weekend. They play 10 moms, and if you Whitesnake, they can't swing with any of their 5Ks on board. Moria has a board of all 5Ks, so Whitesnake is insane there. They have all their, they literally will have 4 or 5K swings, and then you just Whitesnake once, even twice, and you Whitesnake once, and they kind of just have to play their 8-drop Moria and pass. You know, Whitesnake blocks more than just the one attack. It's super good. So we threw in 4 copies of that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we had to make space for it. What did we take out? There was a flex slot where a lot of people were playing 2 Apis. You know, I played 2 of that Hina, if you remember from the national tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I just took out those, put in 2 Whitesnakes, and then I was like, okay, what's the most cuttable card? I tested cutting many different cards. I cut some Deathwings, I even cut Zeph, you know, I even cut Brickfist, but ultimately Buggy was the cut to cut 2 Buggies, and I think a lot of other Nami players out there will seem to agree that every other card in the deck is either a trigger that's important,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or like, it's just Buggy's not a card that you want to see multiple copies of, to be honest.
Yeah.
You're down to see like 1 to stack the bottom couple cards of your deck just to finish the game out, but you don't really need to see it all the time, and it doesn't really grab you anything too impactful. A little impactful, but not too impactful. So Buggy was ultimately cut, and after that, I mean, the rest is history. You know, we got 4 copies of everything else that we know and love. The Mr. 1, the Kaya, the Zeph still stay in as the characters. I like having 14 characters because I have also adopted kind of a mindset to maximize my triggers, because you do actually win more games when you see a bunch of triggers. Who would have thought?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
Yeah.
at first when I was playing Nami, I was like, I'm just gonna play good cards, and I didn't, other than like something like All Stars or whatever. I was like, if it doesn't, like if it's not a good card, whatever. But yeah, having Deathwinks in there and even Brickfists and stuff like that, they're actually really important as bounce triggers to either bounce your Kayas just for free, or obviously bounce your opponent's stuff for tempo. So triggers important. That's why we're only on 14 characters, and I like that number.
I want to go back to what you were talking about the buggy. Like, this sort of breaks like conventional deck building like rules, where you're supposed to play like max amounts of your searchers. But like, to me, as an outsider looking in, Buggy is not really a searcher so much as I always thought his main value was just stacking the non-impel down cards at the bottom of your deck, so when you get to the end game, you know how to win. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Buggy in this deck is not in there as a search. I don't think of him as a searcher. It's more correct to think of him as a one cost to get one card out of your deck, probably.
Right.
Stack the other four. It's not. You're not really. The only card you're ever actually looking for with Buggy is maybe a Brickfist if you're trying to, if you really think you can get a Zeph hit in, or a Mr. 1 if you're like really bricked up and you need Mr. 1 to get back a gavel. But those are both situational things. And so yeah, Buggy's not actually searching for anything. He's just there to get a card out of your deck.
Yeah,
Stack the rest.
That makes sense. And then the gavels and the rubber band, I think all the bottom rows pretty standard. So Chandler, I would not be a good host if I did not give you a platform. And there are rumblings going around about 7-cost Croc in Nami. Tell me about it.
I've never been a fan, to start off. I've never been a fan. I know there are a couple people out there who have seen a little bit of success with it in regionals, but ultimately I think if you're trying to optimize the deck as best as you can, you don't put it in the deck. And my reasons for that are, it costs 8 to play, 7 to play, 1 to attach it, so you really can't even play it until you hit 10 Dawn. Maybe you can play it on a 8 Dawn turn if you have a bunch of 1-cost events, or a 9 Dawn turn or whatever. But ultimately, if you play it for 8 and you're on 10 Dawn, you can play 2 2-cost events and any number of 1-cost events. But I'm going to be honest, that thing's never staying on a board against a real deck. Maybe against Cat it sticks, but you already win versus Cat. So again, it's just a win more card. Against Sokka and Moria, the other 2 most popular decks in the room, that Croc is gone before they even turn a card sideways. Every single time. I think that it's never going to get full value like you want. I think you're just going to pay 7, attach a Dawn, and it's just going to die. But let's talk about even the fact that if it does live and you're able to spam events, how come you still have that many? How come you still have that much gas, to be able to play the Croc on a 10 Dawn turn and then resolve so many defensive events? How do you have that much gas? Have you not been defending early?
Right.
Is your opponent bad, or did you just get lucky with draw triggers? Like,
right.
I don't, on my 10 Dawn turn, I typically have a normal sized hand, and I've been countering the entire game, so I don't have that much gas to be able to go, okay, 7-drop Croc, boom, 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 boom,
get a bunch
boom.
of value.
I don't have. It's crazy.
Yeah, and like, I agree with the whole thing where it's like, it's just never gonna live. Like, against Moria, against Sokka, like, it's just not gonna stay. And in addition to that, it's sort of just a it's just a math problem where the Croc costs 7. You would have to play 7 events in order to get the value you paid into the Croc back out. Like, and that's just never happening. Like in order to get 7 Dawn for free to pay for the Croc, you would have to play 7 events. Like, that just doesn't seem worth it.
And you're right, because it's not going to have value in attacking, because you're not going to attack with it. Because guess what? If you attack with it, then you give your opponent to swing back at it, and then
as banished, right?
Yeah, it's banished, but like, why? You're never going to actually kill your opponent, so why you even?
So I just I agree. Yeah, I mean it just doesn't seem like it matters.
It does, yeah. The banish does not matter. Your opponent will literally just go, okay, cool, banish. Okay, cool, banish for life. Like, and it's not going to get to attack more than once or twice anyway, because your opponent will eventually swing back at it. Because, I mean, your opponent knows that it's going to get more value the longer it stays on the board, so they're going to try and remove it as soon as possible.
Overall, do you want to kind of tell me about how your day went, like overall your regional experience?
Oh, yeah. Let's say, first of all, my matchups were fucking ass. My first couple rounds were, I played against 3 katas in the first few rounds, so that was nice. But then,
that's great.
Then I played against a red purple law, and he kind of just pushed me in,
yeah.
And even though I had I had white snakes and everything, but red purple law did red purple law things. And then
that was the one round I got to sit near you, was when Nguyen was pushing my stuff in.
So we're getting into the final rounds, and what am I in round? I played Moria in the final round for 9. So then round 7 and 8. I'm X1, and I think, okay, surely I'm going to play against more cats or more sock. Didn't play against a single Sokka all day, which is a good matchup. But you'd think I'd play against Cat Sokka Moria in the final few rounds. Nope. Round 7, I play against a Whitebeard.
That's crazy.
A Whitebeard that, I hit some good triggers. I don't think he knew the matchup very well, so I'll say I got lucky. And then I was very relieved to get out of that one alive. And then round 8, I go in and I actually play another Whitebeard in round 8. And I'm like, where are all these Whitebeard players coming from? Like, and why are they all X1, XO? Like, come on, guys. And I luckily got through that one as well, with a little bit of trigger help, I would say.
And those are bad matchups, right?
Those are not the greatest matchups. Like, I would have rather played against Sokka Moria Cat.
Sure.
But Whitebeard, if they see all their rush cards and they see Makinos too, and they just start going in, it can be pretty tough for sure.
For sure.
But yeah, so my matchups were pretty bad, but luckily I got through it, and I thought I'd never actually been X1 that late into a tournament. I always feel like I start off X2 and then have to play the rest of the rounds, but I was actually X1 for most of the tournament, so I was actually sitting in top tables and had a lot of people watching me and talking to me, and so that was pretty fun. A lot of people asking me for tips and stuff.
That's good. Do you feel like when you're in that spot and like similar to Nats, like you're that high, you're that late, and you're a Nami, do you feel like people are generally supportive or rooting against you? Just out of curiosity, because there's a lot of like discourse I feel like that goes around about hating Nami and Nami just being like a troll deck or whatever, and that people don't like. Like, what is your actual experience with that?
I think personally it's a large majority of casual players that do not like Nami. I think that more competitive players see the skill of Nami, and they understand that it can be a threat in some good hands. And so overall, like, I think that a lot of people are very respectful towards me and cheering me on, because I am technically a rogue deck. So everyone does like to see rogue decks win, even if it's Nami, I think. So yeah, I'm generally very supported, and at my locals, I don't really have anyone at my locals who consistently like is mad at me or anything. Like, most of my locals is also very supportive of me. So I never really experienced too much hate.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, well, cool, man. Well, congratulations again on top 16. You know, it's huge. You got your invite to Nats, so we're doing the run back. Yeah, and any shout outs? I'll kind of give you a little time to kind of shout out the Nami community and all the homies.
Yeah, I mean, I personally haven't been too involved, or participating in the Nami community, but I know they're out there, and really shout out to them for always cooking, coming up with ideas like 7-drop Croc and getting some results with it. You gotta try stuff out. So shout out to the Nami community for cooking, and obviously shout out to Red Force TCG for supporting me and being my test dummies, sitting there playing games against Nami, even though I'm sure none of you guys really want to. But I appreciate you guys and everything we do, and it's such a nice brotherhood we have. And lastly, just shout out to my wife for also supporting me and in my card game endeavors, and just always encouraging me to do better and being happy for my results no matter what happens.
Cool. Well, all right, man. Well, dude, again, congratulations. Thanks for coming on. And yeah, we look forward to seeing what else we got in the next few events.
All right. Thanks a lot, Nathan. See ya.
All right. We'll see you guys.